Hey guys, this is Tom Connors. Just a quick note before the show. As we predicted several times over and in this very episode, between the time we recorded, I was editing and loading this up, obviously. The news broke that Fox was bought by Disney. So, of course, we'll get into that a ton in the weekend show. Andre has some special stuff coming up for you guys. So I just wanted to say that up front. So enjoy the show from last night. Thanks, guys.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good day, good night, good whenever you're listening to us. Welcome to another episode of Midnight's Edge After Dark for December 13th, 2017. That's when we're recording this. We'd like to say hello to all our listeners. And I am your narrator supreme, Mr. Rob Robot Shlomo, coming to you from Shabby Road Studios, the 77th ranked college town in America. Woohoo! Another little interesting factoid. That's according to WalletHub.com.
There you go.
So, there you go. And I am, of course, joined by Mr. Tom Connors.
How are we doing, good sir?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. We got a lean, mean fighting machine of a show for you people. So let's just dive right in. What do we got today?
Well, we've got some interesting, mostly Disney-related type news to start off the show with. Of course, it's been going back and forth, and this is something we thought about talking about, but until we had something more solid, we weren't going to say anything, but it's out there, and it's probably more than likely anyway. So the Fox deal, which is probably going to be announced officially tomorrow, reports are saying, if not by the weekend, I assume. If that deal goes through, which it probably is, we're just going to say probably for now just because. The Disney-Fox deal won't bring Hugh Jackman out of Wolverine retirement, unfortunately. There was some conflicting reports, but I just don't see any reason for them to do it, even if he was willing to. It doesn't make much sense to try and tie in the existing X-Men into this MCU. Don't work. So, pretty obvious headline says it all, right, Rob?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, well, maybe Hugh Jackman will turn up somewhere else in the Marvel Universe. So, as Joe the janitor or whatever, You got to think that this version of the X-Men are pretty much done with the Dark Phoenix movie.
And reports are saying that he said that ship has sailed for him. It sounds like he would have loved to do it, but...
Well, one of the things he said one time, he was on with Stephen Colbert a while back. He said he loves playing Wolverine. He said, don't get me wrong. He loves the character. The character's been so good to him. It's brought him fame. It's brought him fortune. International recognition. He'd probably be still this unknown actor in Australia if it wasn't for Wolverine. But he said he's getting older, and it's getting more and more difficult to do all the necessary work to take on the role. And I really don't blame him,
Right.
And he wants to spend a lot of time with his kids now. So,
and Logan was probably the best way to say goodbye to the character anyway. Him and Patrick Stewart's version of Professor X. So I think it's best just to let it be. I mean, we've brought it up before. Chances are Disney is just gonna reboot the X-Men for the most part. Now, that does not include Deadpool. To be clear, Rob and I and many other pundits have no other reason to believe that Disney is going to fuck with that golden calf right now. There's no reason to. And you're not going to turn around and buy 20th Century Fox not to release films that 20th Century Fox would normally release, being R-rated films and so on. So even if they decide to keep Deadpool separate, or even if they do decide to cross him over once in a while, all that means is he won't be able to swear so much probably in the PG-13 crossover films. That's all. And then we've said before, they can just make it a joke and whatever.
Yeah, and apparently Deadline is reporting that Kevin Feige is, quote-unquote, eager to have the X-Men at his disposal. He wants to cross-pollinate the rich swarm of characters with the existing Marvel franchise heroes.
Which sounds a lot like what I said the other day. Remember, Rob, when I said they'll probably start sprinkling in random X-Men in other films first?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So this news is supposed to all come down tomorrow, and from what we've heard, it's supposed to happen before the market opens, the New York Stock Exchange being the markets. So that way they're going to have a ton of news out there. It's going to dominate the news cycle. Everybody's going to be talking about it.
Right.
and it's probably gonna tweak the stock price.
Well,
too.
between The Last Jedi opening,
yes,
and this Fox news, that'll probably be at an all-time high for Disney stock.
Yeah, and we got word of an Obi Wan Kenobi movie, right?
And that's a perfect segue, Rob, because yes, they are announcing that they are looking to make the Obi Wan trilogy starting in 2019, which was announced about a month ago, fresh on the heels of an announcement of a new trilogy from director Rian Johnson, who will introduce new characters from a corner of the galaxy that Star Wars lore has never explored before. Please be a Star Wars strip club.
Hey, let me tell you something though. You know, strip clubs, no stranger to the Star Trek universe. Let me tell you, those green Orion girls. Oh boy, let me tell you. So anyway, yeah, so
looking forward to that a little bit. That's one that the people have been clamoring for, and as we've said before, if they're gonna do anything with a character that we're familiar with, that's one of the only ones we really care to see or makes any sense besides maybe Boba Fett. Other than that, why even try?
Why bother? I just show him doing Jedi stuff, please. That's all. That's really. We have no idea if Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's gonna be in the intermittent years between.
It could be when he's a kid starting out, and then it could be after the Clone Wars and when he's in hiding, and then you never know. Like we joked in that show when we first broke the story here. As long as they don't have some young punk kid playing Luke and come up and Obi-Wan yells at him to get out of his sandy yard.
Get off my moisture lawn.
Get off my sand lot.
Exactly.
I'm sure you're familiar with the National Film Registry, Rob.
Oh yeah. A lot of people, if you're not familiar with it, there are certain movies that get added every year to what they call the National Film Registry. Now these are movies that are deemed to be significant achievements in the medium.
Culturally significant.
And the Library of Congress manages, yes, Star Wars is in the National Film
Which
Registry.
they don't have.
The Godfather.
It's ironic you bring that up.
Yeah. Yes.
George Lucas has only sent them the special edition print and they refuse to accept it.
That's right. Yes, they're still waiting on that print. Actually, the Jerry Lewis's clown movie is in the Library of Congress as well.
Yeah, one you brought up in an earlier podcast. Yes, the day the clown cried.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, the National Film Registry has added this year 25 new titles. I'm gonna run through them, but there's actually some familiar titles there. And this is in pretty much alphabetical order. 1951's Ace in the Hole, Boulevard Nights from 1979, Die Hard, Dumbo from 1941, the animated Disney film, Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner, Four Little Girls from 1997, the Fuentes Family Home Movie Collection from the 1920s to the 1930s. Now, there's going to be a couple of those on here. They're just being preserved because they are of historical significance. Some of them come from private collections even. A Gentleman's Agreement from 1947, The Goonies, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner from 1967, Who Gets Slapped 1924, The Interior New York Subway, 14th Street to 42nd Street from 1905, La Bamba, Live Performers, Memento, Only Angels Have Wings, The Sinking of the Lusitania, Spartacus, I Love You Spartacus, Superman, the 1978 version, Thelonious Monk, Straight No Chaser, Time and Dreams, Titanic, To Sleep with Anger, Wanda, and With Abraham Lincoln Brigade in Spain, 1937 through 1938. Like I said, these are all deemed to be historically significant by the Library of Congress. That's why they go into the National Film Registry.
I think if I remember right, it's set up above here. There's 725 now titles.
Yeah, 725.
One of these days, maybe we'll go through them in maybe a chunk of shows or something. But any significant titles that stand out to you on this list that mean something to you, Rob?
Die Hard, actually. The one actually, I just watched it shortly before the show. The Interior New York Subway, 14th Street to 42nd Street. For those who are unfamiliar with New York City, if you're listening around the country, around the world, the New York City subway is well over 100 years old. It was built in the 1880s, and very little archival footage of it exists from those earlier days, and this is actually fast. Having ridden this New York subway many, many, many times. It really is nice to see a slice of history from that era.
Well, and as you said, they do obviously integrate historical footage along with actual films, and of course both of us, I'm sure Superman the movie holds a very dear place to both of us.
Yes, it does.
Goonies is a huge influence on my life. I was born right at the right time for that film. I was a young kid when it came out, so
I saw that at the movies. Yep.
Field of Dreams, of course, was a great film. Dumbo was also a classic from my childhood. Die Hard, of course, which you mentioned, though, still to this day, I have to say, is the best action film of all time.
And one of the greatest Christmas movies ever.
Indeed. I will not argue
Yes,
that.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie, okay? It teaches a very important lesson that you can always have a Merry Christmas if you have enough guns. So.
Ho, ho, ho. Now I have a
gun. Titanic is on the list, and we were all probably dragged to Titanic for how many dates? We had to wait how long to see Kate Winslet naked on that couch? Jeez.
Is it really worth the 4 hours? Really?
Well, now we have the internet. We could just jump right to that scene.
YouTube. Thank God for that. There is a movie on here that stuck out to me, and it might surprise you, but it's the reason why I love biopics to this day.
La Bamba?
Exactly.
Yeah, La Bamba's a very good movie.
Very underrated.
Yes, it is. It is.
Esai Morales' portrayal in that film was so robbed of an Oscar as Richie Valens' brother. And, of course, Lou Diamond Phillips in his film debut. And
Field of Dreams is also another big one that a lot of people say, it's very nostalgic.
If you build it, they will come.
Yeah, I imagine if we have international listeners, if they're not if they're not that big fans of baseball, I mean, a lot of it's going to be lost on them. But I mean, it really does capture a slice of Americana with what baseball means to people. How the game is passed from father to son, the connection that we have with our through the game with family. It really it strikes a chord with a lot of people.
Yeah, indeed.
So.
But yeah, I'll throw my review of the Superman TV version Blu-ray down below, so we won't stick on this too much because we want to get through the roundup here. So, yeah. Anything else then that sticks out to you, Rob, or should we move on from there?
I think we should move on.
A lot of great titles, though. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and like I said, at some point we'll tackle some of the movies on this on the list.
And I think Memento. Just a quick note, though. I think Memento would actually be Christopher Nolan's first film inducted.
I believe you're right. I do believe you're right. So I've never seen it, but I'll have to get around to watching it.
It's actually pretty good. I'm not sure how well it holds up now, but it was pretty good.
I think we've said enough about that. Let's head over to the roundup. Ladies and gentlemen, for the roundup.
Indeed, sir. What do you got for us over there in the roundup, Rob?
Well, buckaroos, time to saddle up that horse and head on out the barn for a roundup. Yeehaw! Don't you just love Western stereotypes?
Who's gonna complain?
Yeah, well, Wild Bill Hickok's not coming to kick my ass, so he's dead.
Exactly.
So. After looking like it was careening towards a trial next year, Warner Brothers' copyright battle with demonologist author Gerald Brittle for nearly $1 billion over the Conjuring franchise has come to an end. Though the parties have reached a settlement in this matter, it seems that longtime disgruntled producer Tony DeRosa Grund has also been unveiled as the secret mastermind behind this latest legal attempt to grab hold of The Conjuring. ATM and the profits, it seems, to spew out over 4 films, and so far, there's more to come. So that comes to us from Deadline. There's a lot more to this story. There's a lot to unpack here, but we're gonna give you the Cliff Notes version. Tom, we're going to put a link to the rest of this story, actually, in the description, because there's a lot to unpack here, and we don't want to shortchange people on information. Tom, you're familiar with Redbox, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Redbox is launching its own digital rental and sell-through service, minus Disney titles. Redbox, best known...
Surprise.
Redbox, best known for its network of disc dispensing red kiosks, is exploring new digital horizons with the launch of an online service offering movies for sale or for rent. The straightforwardly named Redbox On Demand offers movies and TV titles via Roku, iOS, Android, Google Chromecast, and Samsung Smart TVs. 2-day rentals start at $3.99, with electronic sell-through starting at $9.99. Disney titles are notably not in the mix for now. Redbox is offering of Disney digital download codes via its kiosks without an overall distribution agreement in place, a potential threat to the studio's effort to launch its own streaming service. And that drew a lawsuit from Disney. Redbox CEO Galen Smith said, "We know consumers have a lot of choices when it comes to subscription and streaming services, but no other brand is as closely associated with new releases of movies such as Redbox. We've been America's choice for new content for 15 years, and we're excited to offer a new way to watch that provides greater choices within the Redbox ecosystem." So good for them. We're gonna have another choice, another service to. But here's the thing. But here's the thing. They're offering it for rent or sale, so you're not going to be tied down to a $9.99 a month subscription fee.
True.
So that at least that's something. Okay. Woody Harrelson. We're fans of Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson is in talks to join Tom Hardy in Venom. This comes to us from Variety. Woody Harrelson has joined Tom Hardy in Sony's Venom movie. Riz Ahmed, Michelle Williams, and Jenny Slate are also on board with Ruben Fleischer directing. Although the character details are sparse, sources say Harrelson will play a henchman of sorts. Sony had no comment on the casting, so really not much to say about that.
Henchman?
Yeah, henchman.
Interesting. Could he be playing Carnage?
He's gonna play. Was it Woody the bartender who from Cheers?
Speaking of casting,
yeah, I'm not sure if you're a fan of Kevin Hart.
Yeah,
I can take him or leave him. Kevin Hart, Will Packer team up for action comedy On the Run in Universal pitch deal. This also comes to us from Deadline. Universal Pictures has acquired On the Run, an action comedy pitch by Aisha Carr. Kevin Hart has been attached to star, and he will produce through his Heartbeat Productions banner with Will Packer and his Will Packer Productions label. Okay, well, people would like to have Kevin Hart. Good for them. And sadly, we have some sad news, actually. I'm a big fan of the Smithereens. Today, we lost singer-songwriter Pat DiNizio, who passed away at the age of 62. I'm not sure if you're a fan of the Smithereens, Tom?
Yeah.
For those who are unfamiliar with them, they rose to prominence in the 80s. Their first album, Especially For You, was excellent. I mean, it was almost too good. So there really wasn't. It was, you hate for the first album to be so good, it's going to be hard to follow up anything. But they had a lot of a lot of really good songs. Behind the Wall of Sleep, Blood and Roses, Only a Memory, The House We Used to Live In. Their third album, actually, Smithereens 11. You'll know a lot of people will recognize A Girl Like You, which was their really big standout hit. They continue to make music, Top of the Pops. They actually teamed up with Diane Warren to write a song, Get a Hold of My Heart, which was on their Smithereens Blow Up album. Always great to see them. They did an entire album of Beatle covers. They actually covered Meet the Beatles from front to back. Yes, they're big fans of the Beatles, actually. And Pat DiNizio was actually quite a movie fan, too. He loved monster movies. His music publishing copyright was named Famous Monster Music. I had the privilege to meet him back in 1994. He signed the CD for me, which I still have. He had some health problems. Actually, he lost use of his right arm fairly recently. He fell in his driveway after a snowstorm, and he suffered some nerve damage, and he lost use of his right arm. He was trying to raise money on GoFundMe and Kickstarter for therapy. Unfortunately, he passed away. The cause of death was not disclosed, but Pat DiNizio is he will be missed by me. Actually, funny story. Like I said, I met a girl at one of his shows here in town, and to this day, I'm kicking myself for not getting her phone number. So that could have been a story. Says I could have been telling my kids today.
But Rob, she could have asked for your number too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is true. So 6 of one, half dozen of the other, right?
All right. Let's leave on a happy note, though.
Yes. We never like to leave on a down note. So, and as we like to do, we want to wish certain people in the entertainment industry a happy birthday today on this day, December 13th. Actor Christopher Plummer turns 88 years old. Actor Steve Buscemi turns 60. Actor Dick Van Dyke. Okay, that's all I can sing. He turns 92 years young.
Wow.
Yes. Dick Van Dyke, extraordinarily talented man.
Also in Mary Poppins.
Oh, Mary Poppins. I love Groundskeeper Willie's take on Mary Poppins in The Simpsons. That was hysterical. Actor, comedian Jamie Foxx turns 50. Robert Prosky.
Robert Prosky, he was in stuff like Mrs. Doubtfire, Gremlins 2, Christine, Last Action Hero, Broadcast News, just to name a few.
Yes. Actually, yeah, Robert Prosky. Yeah, was in quite a few things. We've probably all seen him in
More
something.
than that, yeah, Great Outdoors.
Oh yeah, it's one of those actors you say, hey, it's that guy. Musician Morris Day was also born this day.
My jungle love, yeah.
Oh. Now
we oh.
And you younger kids might be more familiar with Morris Day as he's currently known Bruno Mars. I go right to the original, my friend. So born actually on tomorrow, December 14th, is actress Vanessa. I guess she's an actress, Vanessa Hudgens.
Yep.
Patty Duke, the late Patty Duke, was on the 14th in 1946. Actress Dee Wallace. Now, if you don't recognize that name, she was in E.T. She played Elliot's mom.
And Cujo and Critters. Yes. Quote unquote actress Ginger Lynn was also born on December 14th. I thought you'd like that one.
1960s, of course I like that. Giggity, all right. And Ted Raimi, Sam Raimi's brother, also born December 14th. And those are the birthdays. Happy birthday. And if you're having a birthday out there, please have a good one.
Well, Ted, I was just going to say, Ted, you might also recognize he was in the Spider-Man films.
He was. What part did he play?
He played the assistant of J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, that guy. The guy who kept us. What do we call him?
The squirrely guy with the glasses, yes.
Yeah, Science Squid. He said, Doctor Strange.
Yes.
I went, Doctor Strange. Yes, that's good, but it's already taken.
Yes.
Tom, if people like the show, what can they do to show us they like the show?
Well, besides hitting that subscribe button and clicking that bell icon so you're notified when new videos are uploaded, you can also head on over to Patreon and support us there to help us make the shows better. And tell them what they can get over there, Rob.
You can get all kinds of bonuses. You can get early access to videos. We had the Star Trek Trek Logs, Captain Rob's Trek Logs, up for Patreon users a few days early, didn't we?
Yes, we did. And the Justice League Roundtable is up right now. Yes,
and see that? You can get early access to the Justice League Roundtable. You can also get advance notice when mini documentaries are being worked on. You will also get making of behind the edge videos. You can hear the untold story about how Andre found me derelict on the street and then turned my life around.
He found you when you were an Asian schoolgirl.
I was pit fighting in Cambodia. Yes, like Charlie Sheen was in Hot Shots Part 2. And uncut audio, the uncut audio from the Alien mini documentary is up for your approval.
He wants to push that like crazy.
Yes, because you don't know what I went through to record that one. And as always, if you don't have the means to support us through Patreon, please click the subscribe button and click the bell icon, because as always, we cannot do this without you. So, one more time, I am Mr. Rob Robot Shlomo.
And I'm Tom Connors.
And thank you for joining us, and we will catch you next time.